On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock,
TikTok is testing a new content format, but it's just the same old story.
Google Ads search terms came out of hiding, then back in, but Google says they are seeking a new way to share data while keeping privacy safe.
Much like Facebook, we are optimistic that the contents of the show will prove to be pleasurable upon your ears.
All on today's show.
You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. We bring you all the digital marketing news of the week, powered by the digital marketing community. If you want to join the conversation, hit us up. We are at Marketing O'Clock everywhere, and you can join our community on Discord at community.marketingoclock.com. We record every week from the Cypress North Studios in beautiful Buffalo, New York, to bring you our famous Friday news show. You can subscribe to our show at youtube.marketingoclock.com or wherever you consume your podcast. Head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every article we cover straight to your inbox.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
I'm Jess Budd.
And I'm Greg Finn.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on August 13th, 2021. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another show. Jess and Greg, thank God you're here.
Hi.
It's been a while since it's been the three of us together.
It feels that way, yeah.
Jess, what do you have going on in your world?
So, in my underworld, I have been watching the Underworld films this
Of course
week.
you have.
Yeah. I've watched the first three, or technically 1, 2, and 4. I think the third installment was just the Lycans. I'll go back.
Jess, what?
I know. I've been staying up late. I can't sleep. But these are old movies. We don't need to recap the plot. I'm new to vampires.
I bet the vampires help the sleep. The horror movie and the vampires.
It really, it puts me right to bed. They're not even that great of movies, but I enjoy watching them. But my question for you guys, maybe this is the wrong crowd, but I know like with zombies, different movies, different stories, they all have their own rules. Are there different vampire rules?
Totally.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
was a big Twilight girly.
And you can like be out in the sun, you just like sparkle, right? If
Yeah,
you're
that's Twilight.
That's a Twilight thing,
That's
for sure.
weird. And like how you become a vampire can be different. And like this is all new to me. And I'm still trying to figure out why the werewolves
Vampires
are always
not-
the bad guys.
Vampires are not new to you.
Well, I'm not like up on the lore.
All I know is the interview with the vampire. Like I tried to watch it once, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I just had to turn it off.
Is that the one with baby Kirsten Dunst?
I don't know.
Brad Pitt?
I think Brad Pitt was
Okay.
in it. I think it was like in a window with long hair, and it was not good.
Yeah, no. Anyway.
So you're watching Underworld.
Yeah.
I'm just so sorry for you and your family. Okay, Caleb. What's going on with you?
Not related, but there's a bat stuck in my house.
Not related.
Little spook now.
We need to put one of those turnstiles and charge people to go into your house because it's better than the Buffalo Zoo.
I know, it really is. So I get a call from my brother late last night. My father works at night, and he's like, I think there's something in the house. I'm like, okay, it could be a rabbit, so don't worry about it. He's like, no, flying. So I go over, and we spend the next 2 hours trying to kill this bat. It's not dead. It's still in there.
Oh my God.
You might become a vampire if you get
I know. I'll add more to the lore for you.
You
Tell
should
me
try
the
to kill
rules.
it with like a baseball bat.
Honestly,
Is that
we were
what you
trying
did?
that, but my brother doesn't want to kill it, so we're taking T-shirts and trying to hit
Yeah.
it.
In all honesty, it's because you killed the spiders, and the spiders were the things that were
exactly.
killing the bugs, and now the bats are coming inside because you have a bug problem.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why.
It's a
because
whole
you took
shared
care of the
narrative.
spider problem.
Yeah,
Don't leave
100%.
fruit out either.
I would not be able to sleep. Okay, Greg, do you have better news for us?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Okay.
This past weekend, my kids are into NASCAR, and so I went to
What?
my first NASCAR race. And I hate NASCAR, for the record. Not a fan at all, but like try to support the kids. Again, I'm a Lions fan. My daughter's a Packers fan, and I'm like, let it go. But they like NASCAR. I had no idea what I was getting signed up for. It was a phenomenon. And earlier in the week, I went to go meet a friend at like a country club where I had to put on like little fancy shoes and like a business outfit and stuff. And then I'm out there at NASCAR with like people wearing shirts that say you can't spell sausage without USA and stuff. And
Wow.
Hey,
That's
oh,
in
brother.
such poor taste.
well, to be fair, I think it was a Johnsonville shirt, but still, like, it was something. Like, what an experience!
I'm just imagining Greg sitting there in the stands, like while everyone else is like, "Argh!"
And I didn't drink at all either. Not one drink all the time.
no.
I was too. I wanted to be on have all my wits about me because I had no idea what was coming next.
Where were you more uncomfortable, the country club or
Country
the NASCAR
club.
race?
Country club, 100%.
And joke's on you because it's just as loud in our studio. We have a lot of cars that just drove by.
Oh, look, there's Kyle Larson flying by.
Do your kids have a favorite driver? Like, I'm so captivated by this.
Yeah, they both have favorite drivers.
Okay.
So the girl likes Kyle Busch because it's an M&M car, and
Yeah.
the boy likes Joey Logano. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I love it.
Okay, well, I got in big trouble this week because I left my front door. Like, I left for work one day. Hopefully nobody has my address. Listen. I just left it open. Didn't lock the door. I left the door open a little bit. And you can watch the footage on the Ringed video doorbell of me, like, just leaving and leaving the door open. It's so sad to watch. And I got in big trouble for it. But the worst part was, a couple of days later, I went on this 2 whole mile run, like PR'd since having the baby, really proud of myself, solid 10-minute pace. I'm so athletic. I get home, I'm dead exhausted. The door is locked. They went to a coffee shop and locked me out of the house. And I think that's worse than leaving it open because nobody was inconvenienced.
Should have ran to the
Whose
coffee
side
shop.
are you on?
Just your stuff. I mean, I'm always on your side, but I don't know that locking a door is worse than leaving it open.
No, I mean, if you don't like bats, I'll go with the first one being worse.
Yeah, Brad Pitt with the long hair might come in.
Could have got another mile into the coffee shop.
Okay, and getting into the news this week, many advertisers thought it was Christmas in July, and not just because our very own Jess Bud was wearing a shirt yesterday that said, "Hail Santa," with satanic symbols.
And Santa, which my kiddo doesn't even really know who Santa is. And yesterday tried to grab my shirt. He tried to grab Santa. He goes, "Want that?" So
Who else would have that shirt?
Just me. Sarah Burke has a coordinating one, but it's not the same.
Yes. Well, were you in the Christmas spirit because you thought the search terms were back? Because that's the story.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was celebrating early.
So everyone woke up on August 5th, and it was like Christmas came early because there were full search term reports, apparently. I didn't see it in my accounts. We slept through it. We'll get to that. But I first saw this reported by Sophie Logan on Twitter, @MarketingSoph. She tweeted, "Good morning and hello to a full search term visibility in my Google Ads account this morning." And she has an amazing picture of Moira Rose, feeling just so happy about this news. And then Barry Schwartz saw this in a post from David Melamed on LinkedIn, and his quote says, "I manage 30 plus campaigns daily, and some would only show 15 to 20 search terms on average, with a ton of impressions in the other category, hiding lower volume search terms. I logged in today to find 400 search terms on the same campaign and 500 plus from yesterday, when I remember it only showing 30 from yesterday. So it backdated a little bit, but only from the day before, apparently. And Barry always has the best images in his articles. He and Roger
Martini Buster.
are always up there with the best. But for this article, I really didn't understand his choice. Did you get it, Greg? Maybe you can explain it to me.
It looks like somebody's on Panama Beach at like one of those paint parties,
Yeah, so it's this woman with I guess I don't know the gender. A person with very striking eyes, beautiful eyelashes, they're painted tie-dye, and I guess they're hiding behind their hand a little bit. Is that hiding search terms? I don't know. But it will make you stop scrolling, I guess, when you're going through Twitter. Was that his strategy?
It worked.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I'm like, what is this?
Let us know, Barry, because it was big news, so I'm glad I stopped. And as I said, sadly, by the time anyone here at Cypress North knew about this, it was gone. Greg literally checked at 7:45 after he saw Barry's article, and it was gone. I don't know what these people are doing during the night.
The funny thing, he added me on the article,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I was in the middle of trying to pull my daughter's tooth out, and so I get this app from Barry Schwartz, and I'm like, I like retweet it, say something like "Hallelujah" or something, and then I'm like, I literally got pliers out to get this thing out. It was that bad. I didn't use them. We got it out without it. But I retweeted it without looking, and I should have looked first because I didn't have any of it at 7:45.
Yeah, I didn't see any. So hopefully other people were luckier than us and downloaded them before they lost them. And this seems like a bug, but I am optimistic about it because we also reported a few weeks ago that people are seeing zero click and sometimes zero impression search terms, which I've seen in my accounts and I just don't understand.
Yeah. Still, like this week.
You're not showing me things that converted in my accounts. Like less than 50%, but you're going to show me zero impression.
And not only that, but we're going to show you the spend and the conversions, but we're going to show you the spend, and you have to do the math to figure everything else out. we're gonna hide
Oh,
your
yeah, they
target
won't
CPA.
say the
We're gonna
percentage
hide
maybe.
your conversions, and we're just gonna show this number. It's crazy town.
Yeah.
Oh, the band?
Yes, I'm a butterfly, baby. Right? Is that the one?
I am optimistic, though, because Jenny tweeted, the team is exploring ways to share more data in search term reports while remaining privacy safe. I'll have more to share in the coming weeks. So this was at 5:49 p.m. after people woke up that morning to the more search terms, and then they went away. So it seems like she's teasing something that's coming, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. I mean, you can't take away anything else.
To be fair, this whole thing is, in my opinion, a ruse about the privacy, because you can still see much of the data, not all the data, but much of the data in GA. But you can still see the search terms there, and then again, what went on and happened on the site.
Yeah. And in my mind, this is why Jenny became our ads liaison, because I feel like this news came out and then she joined the team like shortly after. She's just trying to fix this problem.
She's here to
us.
fix it. Maybe this is her with all the paint and she doesn't want us to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, I'm doing work, guys.
that little T, she's like channeling Taylor Swift when she like releases
Oh,
this set list, but doesn't know the songs. And we're all just waiting to see what it actually is.
Nobody in the world thought of that, but you should. Congratulations.
Caleb asked me if I cracked the code on TikTok last week.
Did you?
I know. I waited for smarter people to do it. I have a job, so
And shop,
Ouch.
for the listeners out there that don't know what you're talking about, which is everybody, can you explain, please?
Okay, so Taylor Swift is re-releasing her hit album Red, which was just such an important album to me. And she's releasing it with like all these extra songs. It's going to have 27 songs on it, 10-minute version of All Too Well, which will just bring you to tears, I'm sure. I heard it's explicit. I'm just so excited for this album. But we didn't know what the extra songs were going to be or anything, so she released this thing of a vault unlocking and all the letters. It turns out it was a crossword puzzle and you had to find all the words. And if you unscrambled the clues, it was the set list to the album. And yeah.
Is she putting these puzzles together and someone
No,
else is
get
writing her
outta here.
song?
I
No.
think she is.
It's creeps like Shep doing it.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't do it. She always releases things at midnight the day before a school night or during the workday, so I can never figure anything out.
Phoebe Bridgers is going to be on the album. Looking forward to that.
What's next in the news, Jess?
All right. Well, I'll reference Kesha here because she's my Taylor Swift. TikTok on the clock and the party don't stop. Which party?
How many times have we made this joke?
Not enough. And there's one more. All right. The platform is testing TikTok Stories, which is a very original name for a very original concept. There is no word yet on how wide this initial test is going to be or who will have access to it. But screenshots from Matt Navarra show that it's pretty much exactly what you would expect when I say stories. They expire in 24 hours. You can create them and view them in a dedicated section of the app. And they have those typical like profile circles that you're used to scrolling through in the feed. But they put their very own spin on it because you scroll vertically instead of horizontally through those. So get excited.
Groundbreaking.
New experiences. And you may be wondering to yourself why a platform that's already focused on short form video needs such a thing. I was wondering that myself. But the wise Andrew Hutchinson notes in his Social Media Today article covering this that more content options means more ad insertion options. So really just more revenue potential, which makes sense. We'll see if it works, but why not test it? I'm a strong believer in test everything. So fine with me. I don't really care because I'm not a TikTok user at all. But I know your daughter is. Shep, is she part of the test?
Oh, she's, an influencer on TikTok. She loves to dance. She was not included in the test, but I think this is smart because I'll see things the way the algorithm works that are from like months ago if it's something that they think I'll like. So if you have something timely, like say you're in Disney World that day and you want to show me what's going on, but maybe it's not important a week from now, I could just watch it that day.
So you would use this?
Totally.
Right. Well, let us know if it goes wide, because none of us are using TikTok to find out. What else is going on in the news, Greg?
All right. Next up on more social news from Graham Mudd, spelled like puddle of mud, which is my Kesha to Jess's Taylor Swift of Shep, if that made sense.
So who is the artist?
Puddle of mud?
I mean, DT.
Can you not see? Is it too blurry?
Who's heard of them?
It's a garbage band from the aughts, right?
I mean, Garbage is a different band.
They're a good band.
Yeah,
somehow.
I like them.
Anyway, Graham Mudd is VP of Product Marketing Ads at Facebook, and Alex Heath, spelled like Ledger of The Verge, had a great article out there, and Facebook is rebuilding its ads to know a lot less about you. And according to the article, there's a meaningful pivot. And so Alex starts by saying, Facebook's massive business was built on its ability to track users across the internet. But now, thanks to looming regulation and other moves to restrict such data collection, that is changing. Duh, duh, duh. And this, of course, is coming after Apple has prompted users for permission to track across other apps, to have apps cross you across other apps, and then also the EU considering the Digital Services Act, which will basically shut down a lot of different tracking. Okay, so Team Paid, are you ready for a downer? Ready for me to be a stick in the mud?
I'm used to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this quote from Graham on the official Facebook blog. We are optimistic that new privacy-enhancing technologies will prove that personalization remains possible and effective as our industry evolves to become less reliant on individual third-party data. That's not good. When you're like, personalization remains possible?
Yeah.
Yikes. That sounds bad. And that was like always the best part of Facebook, because you could get, again, very relevant messaging to the right people, and then of course everybody misused it and did naughty things with it.
And now it'll just be a possibility. Probably
It's
not
possible.
very good.
It's possible. It's never great when you hear somebody say possible. So Facebook, in their official post, also said that we began testing our private lift measurement solution with select partners, which uses privacy-enhancing technology that's secure multi-party computation. And in the meantime, they open sourced their framework for private computation solutions so that anybody in the industry can now develop measurement products based on this technology. And first off, they need to change the name. If you open source private computation solutions, should it be like public computation solutions?
For
then?
sure.
All right, and here's one other cool thing that was mentioned that could be used here. And this is from Facebook. They said, we're also exploring applications for on-device learning, a technology that could improve a person's ad experience by processing data locally on their device rather than sending it back. So essentially it'd be kind of captured on the device, anonymized, and then used so that everybody could still get good data. And then you're looking, everybody, if you're watching YouTube, everybody's looking at me strangely, as they should, because this is where it gets muddy.
Oh my God,
how
this
many
poor
Ds?
man's.
So there was an interview with Mud, and he said, well, the Heath asked Mud the question. He said, I don't see how that will be easy to do under Apple's new ad tracking prompt on iOS, which explicitly asks users if they want to block an app from sharing data with other companies. Google's Android is planning something similar. Do you think that technique works under the platform rules that we're already seeing? To which Mud replies, I don't think we've had any clear guidance from Apple or others about specific technology and whether that's acceptable given their policy. So this may work. It may just be like, no, you can't do this. I told you, you can't track people and you can't use it for others.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. So anyway, Facebook is trying this and it may be possible.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a hashtag fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up just for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
All right, this week's Take of the Week comes from PBC Kirk, at PBC Kirk on Twitter. And he says, Google. Smart shopping is so smart that you don't need any data since you can't influence the system positively. So what are you thinking, LOL? Also, Google. No, don't make 2 whole smart shopping budget changes in a week. Are you nuts? You will ruin everything. And then the questioning emoji, questioning emoji, questioning emoji, hashtag PPC chat.
That is so sad and so true.
It is. And I'm not going to go off on a rant on this, but if everything is so smart, it can roll with the punches. Shouldn't it be able to roll with the punches?
Yeah, and if you're like raising the budget, wouldn't they want that?
And sometimes your smart bidding or smart shopping campaigns stink off the bat, and you have to try to get it to work better. It's like, You can't just lose money for 7 straight days. Like, I don't know. Great take, Kirk.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI. This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked. But you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people from Jordan Stark at Jord_Stark on Twitter. He says, hot tip, for Performance Max campaigns and Google Ads, they've conveniently removed the in or regularly in your targeted location setting. Make sure you add all other countries as an exclusion if you want specific geo traffic. That Max. Such a crazy guy.
Just don't add 2 country changes in a week.
It's just amazing how hard they're making it. Like, we've had to make the craziest keyword list. Greg had to make a keyword list of every part in the human body this week.
What?
For negative keywords in an account.
And then Chris made every ailment possible.
It was such a sad day. We're reading this. We're like, diabetes, cancer. Like,
And they
That's
go through
insane.
the body parts. and
because
like, whoa.
close variants are so out of control. Because we've talked about how we're trying to use the new broad match with some success. But that's like the only way to do it.
That and the hidden terms are unbelievably bad. We've got an account that you and I are working on, Shep, where I think the spend was about $400 in last week for terms we could see and $1,200 for terms we couldn't see. Now, the CPA for what we could see was $79. The CPA for what we couldn't see was $300. And you can't do anything about it. You can't get rid of it.
outrageous.
And you're spending 3 times the amount on it.
It's criminal.
And you got to do the math on it. You got to go through and do the math to find out that CPA. You can't even just give it to me because you're so embarrassed about what you're doing, Google, and you're trying to hide how stinking terrible your other terms are.
And then when I just like want to go do math like that quickly, I use the calculator app on Google, which is so terrible. Have you?
I don't use that. I just Google it. That's why I'm like one of the 0-click searches that Rand so upset about.
I hit Windows key type calculator.
Is that a good one?
Speaking of Chris, I saw him with a TI 83 Plus on his desk today.
Oh, he
he
loves
was
this guy.
using it. Yeah. I haven't seen one of those. Well, it's probably not an 83 anymore because I'm like 90 years old, but one of those fancy ones.
I need to get one to get the CPA on these 0-clicks, these hidden data search terms.
Now it's time for this week's
Pew, pew.
lightning round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week, Google Ads announced that they will be expanding safeguards to prevent age-sensitive ad categories from being shown to teens, and they will block ad targeting based on age, gender, or interest of people under 18. So a little non-paid tangent here. In the same announcement, Google is making other changes to protect teens, saying, quote, in the coming weeks, we'll introduce a new policy that enables anyone under age 18 or their parent or guardian to request the removal of their images from Google image results. Also announced, YouTube will change the default upload mode to private for kids 13 to 17. They are turning on take a break and bedtime reminders. What a sad world we live in.
You don't know what time my kid goes to bed. How dare you?
And turning off, yeah, your kid probably goes to bed at like 2 a.m. You guys are up watching that Underground show.
What's wrong with that person's teeth, Mommy?
Give me that Satan Santa.
They're also turning off autoplay for users under 18. And on YouTube Kids, they are adding an autoplay option and turning it off by default. Safe search will be automatically turned on for those under 18 using Google search, and those under 18 will not be able to turn on their location history. The most exciting about the thing about the story for me was that it was shared by the one and only Rob Leather, and that's what brought it across my desk. He tweeted about it. We haven't heard from him since he went to Google. He hasn't really made any news.
It's been very quiet.
So exciting. Can't wait to hear from him more.
I can't.
Rob Leather. Do you think he's ever listened to our show?
Never. Never.
Maybe if you say his name 3 times in the mirror, he'll listen to our show.
Is that an underworld thing too?
It's just Candyman, I think.
And from Sarah Perez for TechCrunch, Instagram is testing ads in its shop tab. You can use single images or a carousel with select US-based advertisers. This is only available to them right now. So can we talk about the shop tab? I'm sure Just Bud has seen it. I'm sure Greg hasn't. Am I
I've
correct?
seen it. I hate it.
It's
Why would you take
so
up a fourth?
terrible.
Why would you take up a fourth of your navigation for a shop?
There's no text on the ad. So, like, we've got this leotard, which, first of all, why would I buy that? I'm not sure how it's deciding what it's showing me.
Your sister might.
Then we've got this other lady sitting on a bed. I don't know if her mug is for sale. I don't know if the linens are for sale. There's no text on these. Then they got this adorable baby on a chair. I don't know whether they're selling the chair, her dress, or the baby. This is a terrible experience.
Also, you don't want a camo baby in your house. That's one thing I know.
That's not camo.
No,
It's flowers.
This is the definition of camouflage.
This is-
You're hidden.
Oh, yeah.
This is clearly a
Someone
stealth
could
baby.
sit on that chair.
She matches the
Sit
couch.
on the baby.
She's a
Yeah.
little Lily Pulitzer baby. So, cute baby, terrible shopping experience. Like, maybe you should figure that out. And nobody should be running ads on it. And we've got a tale from PPC Reddit. Greg wasn't up early enough to find those zero-click search terms, but he was awake at some point to find this story. So this was posted by user Alexandria Media 90. These names are so hard to read. And she says, I've managed 10 million plus in paid media over the last 8 years. Here are a few less mainstream free tools, websites, extensions I use. Hope this helps. So there's a whole list of 10. A couple are Adveronics, and this is a handy Google Sheets add-on that allows you to extract data from Facebook ads, Google ads, and any other channel automatically into a spreadsheet daily. And then she shares this ad creative bank, and it is her top source to find creative inspiration for new ads. So check that out if you want all 10 tools. And from the desk of Jess Budd, she got a notification in Facebook ads that says about expiring audiences. If an audience hasn't been used by any active ad set over 2 years, it will begin to expire. Expiring audiences that remain unused for 90 days will be deleted. I'm not entirely sure how new this is, but it was new to me, and it seems pretty important, especially like there's probably a lot of companies that weren't advertising over the past couple of years that may want to start again, and those lists could be gone. So look out for that. And from Ginny Marvin from her @ads liaison account on Twitter, she says, out now, the new version of Google Ads Editor supports hotel ads, YouTube, audio ads, and lead form extensions. But you already know because we released it last week and then unreleased it.
She didn't say that. That was shot. And who, like, the number of people that want to be able to change negative keyword lists versus the number of people running YouTube audio ads? What are you focusing on
That
over
is
there?
such a good point. Because the negative keyword list would stop ads from showing and lower their revenue. So
The lead form extensions are cool. And we
Yeah.
had a show of that way back with the Paid Search Pros with Joe Martinez and Michelle Morgan and Mark Saltarelli talking about lead form extensions and lead form ads actually as well. So that's pretty cool, but we just want the negative terms. Give us that.
That
Yeah.
would be huge.
you can also download specific parts of a campaign, but I would never do. I always go for the more data, and I'm like a psycho about it. I
Yeah.
do it like 10 times.
I don't think I've ever done whatever the other one is, the fast one.
Yeah.
Never in my life. You might miss something.
It should just say like less crazy person. Or what do they say? Faster download because I'm crazy.
I want it all.
Yeah.
And that is it for paid. What's happening in organic?
Well, first up, Google's dropping the safe browsing as a page experience ranking signal, and there is a good example of the change over in search engine land. Basically, this was dropped because sometimes sites fall victim to third-party hijacking, Google said. And that makes sense. Like if somebody goes through and takes over your site, should you have a ranking decrease because of that? Probably not.
So all the SEOs are just going to be making unsafe sites left and right.
No. But there's two things I had with this where I don't like the term hijackers because that mainly came from, I think, like being on the highway and getting like your car jacked.
I thought it was,
essentially.
no, that's carjacking. I thought it was airplanes.
Why? Because it's high in the air?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
I didn't know that.
I thought they were just saying hello to Jack.
No, Jess. It's more like, is it more like screen jacking?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Or
it's
click
site
jacking?
Site
Site
jacking.
jacking?
I like clickjack.
None of these sound good, though.
So like, yeah, it's site jacking. And no, this all sounds actually terrible. So the other thing as well, if you want to try to be malicious, Now, the hijacking somebody else's site won't tank their organic potential to rank. You should just hijack a site and throw some interstitials up there. Throw some real big interstitials up there, and that'll get them to not rank.
Okay.
But are we hijacking sites just so that they rank
Is that
lower?
why people do it?
Excuse me,
Is
yes.
that why people do it?
I was just going to your SEOs thing.
Let's
there.
de-optimize their
They don't
SEO.
just wake up in the morning and like choose chaos. I don't know. Maybe
Some,
they
Some people do.
There's a lot.
Have
of
you
people that
seen
do.
Underworld, Chef?
Oh my gosh, Jess. All right, next up, Google Core Web Vitals is more than just a tiebreaker, according to John Mueller and Roger Monti.
I can't.
I just told somebody it was a tiebreaker last week. Now I look bad.
Martini Buster. And according to a thread in Reddit, John Mueller had said, it's a ranking factor and it's more than a tiebreaker. It also doesn't replace relevance, blah, blah, blah. And this is why it's like, go with things that you think make sense. Take things into consideration that Google says, but don't live by them. And yes, is it more than tiebreaker? Who knows? I think for yourself. Make your best site. Make something your visitors would like. All right, next up, Microsoft Bing announces make every feature binary or MEB. In
What? Missing a letter.
We'll get to that. Microsoft announced their next AI model, a large-scale sparse model that complements our production transformer models. So MEB, or make every feature binary, is running in production for 100% of Microsoft Bing searches in all regions and languages. So it's probably pretty awesome. Go check it out over on Search Engine Roundtable. But I don't trust it because you can't even get the acronym right.
It's very bizarre. Like,
It's MEFB.
not everything needs an acronym.
I know. And I've got an acronym for you and for this, Microsoft. You ever even try. All right.
What's
next
that spelled?
up, Google structured data testing tool directs you to rich results test or schema.org. And cool, right? You get redirected to from the old one to something new?
I guess.
Wrong, Shep, because over on SUJ, Roger Monti
Martini Buster.
had an article called Google Replaces Structured Data Tool with Promotional Landing Page. And so Roger Monti has some of the best images besides Barry. And I think Roger won this week because he's got somebody in with a huge chain and such a fancy coat going like Gangnam Style out there. And also he continues having very bold imagery throughout the article where he goes and says, Google says schema.org structured data validator has stabilized. And it has somebody that looks like they've got the Delta variant and is on a ventilator. And there's a quote underneath it that says, the schema markup validator has stabilized, ... And it's like somebody in hospice.
He's throwing major shade.
He's fired up. I told you.
I like it.
So then he goes on to say, is Google's landing page promotional? And talks about the fact where it actively encourages visitors to first use Google's rich results page instead of the schema.org. And then went on to saying that Google may be dabbling in the dark arts or the dark patterns, to be specific, saying, is Google using dark patterns by directing people to Google? Anyway, it's like a whole conspiracy theory. I feel like you'd be into this, Shep. You love conspiracies.
You can't really say that anymore. I used to love conspiracies when they were really wholesome, Titanic counting the portholes. They're not like that anymore. You can't just say you're into conspiracy theories. It's a sad
Really
time.
lumps you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might like NASCAR too. All right. Anyway, next up from John Henshaw and Coy Wolf, Google is recommending author page URL be added to the article schema for structured data. He's got a bunch of great examples of what to do and how to add it for one author, for multiple authors, instead of just making sure you've got your name and type and all that schema that you should have. You also link over to your author page as well. And next up from Christina Brodsky, she has a tweet saying, noticing large preview images in Google mobile SERPs that appear new. And I thought it was just like some of the ads that we've seen, but no, these are actual massive images showing within the organic results. I don't know if it's new or not. Barry, get at us here. Also in other news, I think this is officially Christina Brodsky Stan podcast.
Absolutely.
She's on fire.
I'm a big fan.
Like she's got all these sheets that she's sharing. Go follow her on Twitter. at C Brodsky, or head on over to our newsletter or Discord channel, community@marketing.club, to see everything. But man, she's been on fire lately.
Yeah, and listen to our Marketing a Talk with her. She has a lovely accent.
Do we determine where it's from?
Is it Connecticut? Or no, I think it's New York, right?
We'll have to ask.
We'll have to ask.
We were only speculating.
We like it.
Okay, next up, you can fire your entire app development staff because Wix is launching a no-code app builder for $200 per month. Actually, wait, you're on Wix, so you probably don't have any developers. But Wix is having an ability, if you have a Wix site, to turn that into an app. And it is currently a pre-sale 50% off for life. So that's now $100 if you go sign up on Wix no-code app builder today. Well, as long as you're not listening in the future, then you're probably paying $200. All right, Google has released a new help guide for large sites wanting to manage their crawl budget. And you can see if you have a large site, 1 million plus unique pages, or medium or larger sites with very rapidly changing content, and that's 10,000 unique pages or more. Go check it out. I'm not going to go through it because there's probably like 3 people that this pertains to. And then next up, Yelp is introducing proof of vaccination required and staff fully vaccinated profile attributes. So users can filter these searches and attributes when searching, rather, and Yelp will be monitoring reviews for business that add them. Next up, Google is testing a discussions carousel in the SERPs, and Barry Schwartz spotted it over on Search Engine Roundtable. And you can see discussions from Reddit, examples overclockers, Naraland, and Appliance. It's basically all these kind of cards coming in about, it seems like forums and other places where there's, user-generated content. So I've got an even better idea for discussions in the SERPs, though.
Okay.
Audio chat, Clubhouse style. You search, and then you just have an active conversation with other people out there. Everybody's doing it. Boom. Clubhouse and the SERPs.
So you have to assume other people are online exactly when you're searching it.
Okay, that's not a good idea. How about stories in the search?
No.
Okay.
Clubhouse ad extensions.
All right, next up, Salesforce has a streaming service for professionals. And let me revise that. Client Salesforce has a streaming service for professionals. So I hope it goes well.
Yeah, it's the latest company to enter the streaming wars. You got Disney Plus, you got Salesforce.
I wish them well. There will be no comments from me. All right, Google Community News Summit has been scheduled on August 17th and 18th. So throw on your little newsboy hat there and head on over. If you are a small publisher, Google said, or Megan Chan from Google said, it's focused on the specific challenges and opportunities of running a community-focused news organization. And it's for people with less than 50 employees in those companies. And I just got to imagine anybody that small has just got to go to Google and just start complaining.
Mm-hmm. And Google won't care.
And they'll
so
just take their ideas.
But Facebook does.
All right. Well, that's it in organic. Jess, what's happening social?
All right, first up in the social news this week, Instagram was really nice and released an overview of key factors its algorithm considers when ranking Reels, including a breakdown of how it determines which Reels a user might be interested in and what you can do as a creator to boost your reach potential. They also included factors that could limit your reach, and one of them was if your video is low resolution or watermarked. So hashtag don't reel use your TikTok.
Well, that's all anyone is doing, so get used to it.
This just
going to decrease your reach, kids.
This just feels surreal that every week they are saying how to use this and how it works. Like maybe your algorithm is a little too crazy that people are leaving Instagram and going to TikTok because they understand it.
Well, this is just reality, Greg, that we live in.
Goodness gracious.
But if it went away, where would we get our puns? So just be thankful.
I'll find them, don't you worry.
She'll find a way. Don't tempt her, Shep.
We can stick with Reels here, but I'm done with puns. Instagram has added another way to search Reels content, and that is by audio, which apparently is a clone of TikTok's Sounds tab, which I don't really know much about because I'm not on there, but these social networks are all just becoming the same thing. It's like, do you guys know that Meatloaf song, Everything Louder Than Everything Else?
I try to avoid Meatloaf, both the artist and the dish.
Fair enough. Well, it's a great song. It's like 8 minutes long. I listened to it while I was writing this. Got super pumped up.
It's also a great dish. There's vegetables in there sometimes.
It's delicious.
Ketchup and mustard.
It's like meat.
Mustard.
All right, if you're putting mustard in your meatloaf, that explains it all.
Yeah, what are you
It's
doing?
like meat bread. Why wouldn't you like that?
It's a loaf.
Don't say it like that. It sounds pretty bad to me now, too.
It's disgusting.
I don't eat meat.
The
So.
texture of meatloaf is like why I don't eat beef.
It's a
so
brownie.
gross.
It's like spongy, really
It's
yum.
just. I'm gonna throw up.
Well, maybe
Spongy
Meatloaf will
loaf
change
of
his name
meat.
to Spongy Beef. From 9 to 5 Mac, new features for Twitter Spaces, a platform, in their words, they being 9 to 5 Mac, has become a solid choice for those who love to speak using audio only. Wrap your head around that.
That doesn't make sense.
I know.
That's generally how one speaks.
I know. No, you don't speak using audio, you listen using it. None of it makes sense, but whatever.
More of a visual word.
Yeah.
myself.
If you are one of those people, you'll be happy to know that hosts can add up to 2 co-hosts to their conversation now, and that is in addition to 10 other speakers that can participate.
Julie Bacchini, rejoice.
This is big news
she's
for
doing all
PPC chat.
the heavy lifting at PPC
Yeah.
chat. She can now bring more people on.
Oh, Julie, you need a break.
Well, I hope she's listening. Hi, Julie. The platform has also fixed some bugs, made guest management easier, and again, according to the article, is expected to soon implement a voice transformer feature with multiple effects for users
This is going to go great.
get ready, bee, cartoon, helium, incognito, and a bunch more. But they had me at B because it's a great way to generate buzz.
You know
There's
what I'm
one. There's one listener out there. That's funny, but no,
it's not.
But PPC Greg, I feel like he'd
I was
use
gonna
it.
say that too.
If he could be incognito with his little fake personality, acting like a banana, I feel like he'd participate more, being incognito.
Yeah, I wish we had that for our marketing and talk. We'll have to have him on again.
Do you guys remember, like, a couple months ago where there was the court proceeding on Zoom and, like, the judge or something had on... I'm seeing the same thing happen
The cat?
here.
I am
the
not a cat.
I am not a cat. Someone's going to have the robot voice filter on and not realize it.
Just be yourself, everyone. All right, from 9 to 5 Mac over to 9 to 5 Google. If you have been dying for your
Also,
These Dolly Parton fans are just too much. That wasn't that funny, but thank you.
It was because 9 to 5 is also just like the work day, and you had to take it there like it's a Taylor Swift puzzle. Like they're secretly telling you this whole time how much they love Dolly and technology.
Come on, you gotta respect Dolly.
Oh, I do. I love her so much. I hope she's listening.
she is.
Number one MOC listener, Dolly Parton.
Well, if you've been dying for your payout from the class action lawsuit against Google from the Google Plus privacy breach years ago, you can rejoice because the time is now. $7.5 million is being awarded to users of the
That's
defunct
kind of a
social
lot.
network. It's a lot.
So you,
So much
everybody gets
money.
that? That's
Well,
crazy.
half went to legal fees.
Oh.
And aren't they all splitting it?
Yeah, they're splitting it, and there's
You get, like,
1.72 million people.
Yes. You're
The
not
numbers
getting a
don't
lot of
really
money.
look good.
They had to fill out paperwork, legal paperwork. Do you want to guess how much? Don't cheat.
I know
Don't
how much
click
it is.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna take me a while on the calculator app on Google. It's not good.
Just guess. What do you think?
It's like $1 something, right?
Caleb?
Bad at math. I'm going to say $500.
$2.15 or something.
Ding, 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 ding.
Who even wants that? That's not worth the postage.
They already mailed it, Shep.
Donate it to charity.
People are probably like, I'm going to be the only one that fills this out, the only one that cares.
So then, if nobody else claims it, do you get more of the pot?
I'm not, well, the people already had to fill it out, I guess. And so now that's what's being distributed amongst the folks. Like,
God.
it's too late to get in on this
Imagine
gold mine.
getting
Man, we
that
missed
check.
our
Yeah,
chance.
I
Sweet
know.
Google Plus money.
And you could find more money on the sidewalk outside the studio. Our next article's from The Guardian. I don't know what Dolly thinks about it.
Oh, Guardian 9 to 5.
9 to 5 Guardian.
This whole show is a bridge over troubled water. Is that her? Or is that other lady?
No, you're thinking of Islands
That's
in the
definitely
Stream.
not.
I am. Or The Bridge. Very sad song. Okay. Why Instagram's creatives are angry about its move to video. It's this whole story about how Instagram betrayed the artistic community that helped build it in favor of chasing trends and TikTok users. There's a quote in there that the idea that they have to dance for their audience literally just to make sales or have their art seen is a kick in the teeth. Like there's some stuff in here. You can read it if you like drama. The marketing-y-ish takeaway that I got from reading it is that if you're in the business of still images and using them to promote whatever it is that you offer, you should consider Twitter. People are actually seeing more engagement even with smaller followings on that platform. But even like broadening that out, just be prepared to pivot no matter what you do and where you are. Like it's just a good mindset to be in. Like it stinks if something worked really well for you for a long time, but if it's not anymore, instead of whining, like we should just test new things. I don't know.
From the desk of Jess Bud.
Whether that's new news or not. All right. Congratulations, TikTok, on overtaking Facebook as the world's most downloaded app. That is according to 2020 data that was compiled by Nikkei based on data from App Annie.
That seems
Nikkei
like a
is
big
the
deal.
thing. I think so, right? I mean, that was last year's data too. So like we're more than halfway through 2021.
I just feel like any TikTok number is fake. Like any of those views, they're fake. I feel like.
The downloads are tracked by a third-party company.
I don't believe. It's the same thing that Facebook did with their video. Do you remember that? All these content creators pivoted everything towards Facebook video because they saw such high numbers, and Facebook's like, oh wait, those are all fake. And then I remember, what was the site? I think it was like College Humor's like, everybody lost their jobs because of that.
I'm not saying you should pivot, but I'm just saying I think that it could be the most downloaded app. That makes sense.
That's probably right.
Yeah,
but I feel like you get in there on TikTok in all those. It's like somebody posts a video and then there's like 2 million views in 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, but that's because a view is as soon as the video starts on somebody's feed. So as soon as you see it, you're counted.
Yes, it's an impression.
Mark my words. When we see the big,
TikTok drop off.
Yeah, that's why.
No, stories are coming. It's going to save the platform.
Everything's the same.
I think TikTok's doing okay without you.
All right. Well, I'm not doing okay with this next one. According to the New York Times, text memes are taking over Instagram. And if you're wondering what they are, according to, again, the New York Times, this is real journalism, text-heavy meme posts often paired with nonsensically unrelated pictures, fueled by Gen Z. So in other words, I have no hecking idea. What is happening? They shared some examples and I don't get them, so I made my own. I made some what I think are text memes. I don't know why they're different from memes. So those are the New York Times ones that you guys just scrolled by. I don't know how we should do this. We'll put them up on video. But the first one is some men. They were just in the meme builder that I found. I think people know it.
This is just a meme. You made a meme.
You made a real meme.
What is the difference between a meme and a text meme?
The text
meme is
text.
completely, and it's like
No,
But there's pictures behind these other ones.
No, they're text memes. Caleb, you are the voice of the youth on
boy.
this.
So they have this one, it says they're all Virgos, and it has like anime people, and that's it. It says they're all Virgos.
That's more images than text.
Number one, I don't get the joke. Number two, it's just a meme.
Right.
You're just too old. Caleb, do you understand what text memes are?
100%. It's like typically it's less about the text and more about it being not related whatsoever to.
I
what
did that.
People are making a
I
joke.
did that here. Did you see my second one? I did it for you.
I get it.
Potato salad, world's best food, and there's a marble with an upside down tree in it.
This is not a meme. This is just true.
This is a text meme.
I don't understand what's so funny about this one.
Well, fine. Do you like the third one? I made it for you, Shep. It is Satchel from Steel Panther, and it says, "Oh, Shep, I can be a stats and info czar too."
You know, I thought we were forgetting about that.
Never.
When I was still expecting, Greg got me a cameo with a song from this gentleman, and it was really not good. Okay, we're deleting it from the record.
Not good. It was great.
It was great.
Caleb is not allowed to hear it, and neither is Eliza. Okay.
Did I do it though? Did I make memes?
No, you didn't make no memes. But check out Marketing Clock on Instagram, and we'll put up some actual text memes and stories. But we'll also put your garbage ones you made up here too that are just memes.
They're not memes. They don't make any sense.
I think the point of text memes is that they're garbage, right? So what's wrong with these?
I mean, the first one is like the most meme I've ever seen.
It's a
well,
meme.
yeah, because
meme.
I stole an image that existed because I wasn't sure. Like I got better as I went along, right? Okay. Anyway, really quick here from Kaya Urif of The Information at Kaya Urif on Twitter. She says, Chart of the week. All social platforms look the same now. And she has a chart of what features exist and what's in testing. And we already kind of touched on this, but we'll have it up on the video and we'll link to it in Discord in the newsletter. I just want to say bravo, Kaya. See you at the Meatloaf show.
We're letting other people declare chart of the week now? Wild.
Yeah, I thought we got to pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Barry.
Oh. Well, this is an exciting chart. Greg, what's your take on this chart?
It looks like Legos. It's like,
Yeah,
It does. Christmas Legos. Okay, back to business. LinkedIn has rolled out a native video meeting option in their app, which legit seems useful for a platform whose purpose is actually networking. And according to Social Media Today, they are also developing several new features for video chats, including calendar integrations, allowing for messaging in a chat while you're on video, and also screen sharing and virtual backgrounds. It all seems actually useful.
That's going to be great. You log into LinkedIn and immediately somebody jumps on a video message. Hey, maybe you missed my last message, but just so you know, I've got a fantastic offer for you.
I mean, I'm thinking more like legit connections, like if you're looking for a job, but it's going to be abused exactly that way, Greg.
Now we can get endless inspiration as soon as we log on. Just people telling us their stories. I can't wait.
I'll throw some memes in there too, just for you. Lastly, also from Social Media Today, YouTube tests new insights around evergreen videos in Studio Analytics. According to YouTube, the goal for this is to provide insights around evergreen video as additional drivers to help you understand how overall channel performance, specifically views, are changing over time. It's pretty sweet when you think about it, like all the work that goes into making a really decent piece of content. Like, you put a lot into that, and you would hope that it would have some lasting power. I think we do the opposite here, marketing a clock, but
Not this show.
no one ever said we were decent.
And that brings us to our real life segment. Straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for working hard or hardly working.
I have always hated that Google Ads doesn't have negative keyword conflict reports. Like, it just seems like such an easy thing for them to help with, and Microsoft Advertising does. But they identified them for me in the recommendations tab this week. And it was actually super helpful. Not that I'm promoting the recommendations tab, but that's one great thing about it. And I also don't think that Microsoft Advertising report looks in your keyword lists. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. But
I think you're wrong.
Like it didn't. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong because
Okay.
most of my negatives are in lists.
Okay, show
and
me
I've
after
had them
this.
flagged. Yeah, I think you're wrong unless they've changed it.
All right, well, keeping it negatives here, I've got something hardly working, and it's just the fact that there's no way to edit negative lists, which is what every intelligent human should use or have at least a foundation with. Why wouldn't you use negative lists? And you can't edit those in Google Ads Editor, and it's always what I look for when I see, whether it's last week or this week with the new Ads Editor coming. Is there negative keyword list support? No.
Because the worst part about them is there's no way to bulk edit. Like, if you have keywords in a list already, you can't change the match type or anything like that.
You can't do anything
bulk
on
editing.
Terrible.
You have to go through. You have to manually change things. I have to get a spreadsheet from Jess to turn phrase match into exact match negatives, and you have to download them and upload. It's a disaster, and it's all web version, and that's such an easy enhancement they should do.
And by the way, we need to share that spreadsheet in Discord.
Yes.
Great call. I have a hardly working turned working hard. Microsoft ad disapprovals. I had an ad that literally said in-house IT support in the copy, flagged for third-party tech support and financial product. It's not a financial product. So I was like, hey, excuse me, can you please? I'm appealing this. So it was super annoying, but they resolved it in less than 24 hours. So I appreciate that. Working hard, Microsoft support.
All right, now on to our segments. And first up, we've got reading material. And this comes from Mark Williams Cook on Twitter, at the Taffer Boy on Twitter. And he says, hello, SEO peoples. I wrote and curated 504 unsolicited SEO tips. It'll be great for new SEOs and probably helpful for experienced SEOs. So go check that out if you're bored and want SEO tips. It'll last you at least a year and a half if you go one a day. So check that out for reading material. And then from the work from a smaller home section, there's some new news about Google employees who work from home and how they could lose money. So Google, there was an internal document that was leaked essentially from Google talking about how compensation packages will change. Everything I saw seemed to be negatively based on location. So they said we always pay top of the local market based on where an employee works from. That was from a Google spokesperson. But according to some people that leaked the news, one Google employee asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation.
That's so sad.
Yikes. Typically commutes to the Seattle office from a nearby county and would likely see their pay cut by about 10% by working from home full time.
Oh, so not based on where the office is, based on where
your location is. So if you live in the city, you could say I'm eligible for 100% compensation. If I am in Buffalo and I live in Batavia, a town 30 minutes away, and I commute in, I therefore make less money because my zip code is in Batavia.
If you commute in, though, or if you just work from home?
It seems like it's based on zip code.
So even if you go to the physical office.
That seems wrong.
That's horrible. I mean, it's horrible both ways. It's just not fair, but.
I'm not sure. It may be working from home. Again, this was like a leaked thing here. But interviews said that the pay cuts were as high as 25% for remote work if they left San Francisco for an almost as expensive area out of the state, such as like a Lake Tahoe. So pretty big cuts based on what you're doing. And then it probably is remote work only, to be fair. So.
And now for this week's
Cool Tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And is really, really cool.
This week's cool tool is more a smart use of a combination of other existing tools. So it's more of a hack. We'll call it a whack hack because that's the best I can do with rhyming. And it comes from Jen Penaluna at Penaluna_Jen on Twitter. And she says, here's a super quick way to write alt text without leaving Google Sheets. And then she lists out the steps. The first involves screaming frogs, so you do need that. But you can export a report of all of your images that are missing alt text, and then you paste it into a Google Sheet where she has a formula that you can use to extract the image itself from the URL and display it right there so that you can run through and very easily in bulk mode, baby, write alt text in one place. Jen did tweet this out. Again, that's at Penaluna_Jen, but we'll also have the link in Discord and in our newsletter. So pick your poison and check it out.
And now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed, we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
All right, and this week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from Pauline Jack-Ober over on group27.com, and the name of the article is How to Scale Your Google Ads Program, Part 1. And Pauline talks about open communication between client and agency, a baseline of faith and trust, a focus on longer-term goals, all which are sort of known entities that you should have. But the thing that I really liked the way she broke it down was number 4, and it was an open budget. And Pauline says, for example, here's a client that started with a budget of $6,000 a month in November of 2020. They earned $10,000 in revenue that month. By June of 2021, they had increased the budget to $34,000 a month and were earning $67,000 in revenue. And that's one thing that is always really hard to communicate properly when doing paid is, yes, what is the budget? The budget really should be at what CPA will you do, like spend a lot of money, you know, because if you can bring people in a profitable level, yeah, you need to know, can you keep up, you know, your inventory and all that stuff. But trying to just have like one hard budget is always like a little tough, and be like spending that budget exactly every month. Like some months have 28 days, some have 31, and it's like you're spending the same amount every time. So I like this. It's like, yeah, you have that open budget where you're trying to go after the acquisition cost, which is cool. So I like that. So follow Pauline Jacober on Twitter. It is at GRP27.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join. And we'll see you next week.
Welcome to this week's Shootin the Heck. We're after our famous Friday news show. We don't talk about marketing anymore. We just
shoot the heck.
And we have a new game for you today, but I am sure that it is already everyone's favorite game. Instead of guilty pleasures today, we're doing pet peeves. just think of it as like anything that ruins your day. Okay. Caleb, you can go first.
Okay. I was thinking about this all throughout the day because it happened to me this morning. My pet peeve, I'm not going to say I hate, but my pet peeve is when you're in the line for like a coffee in the morning or something, like in your car, and then the person in front of you pays for it. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Being nice.
Just hear me out. I have a reasonable explanation. Because it's just like, you're like, now I got to do something nice for someone, otherwise I'm going to get bad karma.
Oh,
and it's
my
just like, there's nothing wrong with doing something nice for someone. It just, I don't know. Just let me pay for my coffee sometimes.
Just pay for the car behind you, Caleb. It's an easy
Does this
fix.
happen to you every day?
This happens to me a lot, believe it or not.
Where, Tim Hortons?
Yeah, Tim Hortons or like McDonald's, just anywhere I'm trying to get a coffee.
What a Grinch.
Caleb's pet peeve is nice people.
It was also kind of a humble brag.
Yeah, people pay for my stuff.
Okay, Jess, what is your pet peeve?
I have many, but this one has recently come to light here in this office, and I don't know if it's any of you, and I apologize if it is, but I don't apologize. Why do people, when you open a new food item, not take off the inner seal completely? Someone here is leaving it flapping.
I'm with you.
You open a jar and the paper was like half open. Why?
I don't think
Are we
about
leaving
it,
that
so it's
there?
probably me.
Oh, no.
I know why people do this. They
Why?
think it makes it like fresher.
No, you have to.
It's like if you
People
leave it
are
on, it'll
lazy.
stay good later. You know what I mean? I guarantee that's
No,
what
it's a safety seal, so you know no one tampered with it. It's already fresh with the regular lid. It's
I've never
ridiculous.
thought about it, so it's definitely me. Sorry.
Stab it shut.
Greg, what is your pet peeve?
All right, my pet peeve, this is probably be a hot take here.
Oh, boy.
But my pet peeve are flowers inside of a house. I love flowers outside. I don't understand why people put flowers inside of a house. They stink, they make a mess, and you're murdering these plants to bring them inside for your quick enjoyment of like 1 to 2 days.
Like
I
a
hate-
bouquet?
Murdering the plants?
Yeah.
Okay, you and Caleb need to go move to Grouch Island. They're lovely. They're beautiful.
You can extend this to all plants if you think about it.
They
the
bring in
plants grow
bugs.
back.
No.
They bring in bugs. That's probably where all the spiders came from.
Exactly.
And flowers don't smell that great. Hot take.
They really don't.
I
It's
don't do
annoying.
it for the smell. I do it for the look.
Yeah, they're
And
pretty.
If you leave flowers for like a few days more, then it has a rancid smell.
But your indoor plants are okay.
Those are living, breathing, alive plants that I'm growing, cultivating, and I'm like, they're like my little friends. You know,
And you wouldn't put like a bookshelf in your garden. So why bring something that doesn't need to be in the house? It doesn't make any sense.
Shut up and pay for my coffee.
Yeah, you sound just grumpy and mean.
nobody likes flowers in your house.
Everyone loves flowers.
People like it because they think they're supposed to like it. You don't go into your house and be like, these flowers are
true.
cool. People are like, oh, look at this. I got flowers. Somebody gave me flowers. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's not good.
I mean, I'm not out there
my
buying
own
people flowers,
flowers.
but yeah, who cares if they're
You like flowers in your house.
Yeah, I like them in my kitchen. It's so nice in the window and the sun's shining through and you got some flowers in there.
No thanks.
You're just grumpy. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it in the kitchen. My pet peeve is wooden cooking utensils.
Oh, what a terrible
I
take.
hate.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. When you have to wash
boy.
wet wood in the sink, it is so upsetting. I really can't even talk about it. It's so disturbing to me.
What
the
is wrong
feeling
with
of
you?
rubbing your scrub daddy sponge over wet wood is so disgusting.
Another pet peeve, scrub daddy.
no, those are the best.
Hate scrub
You
daddy.
put your fingers in the eyes for
No,
grip.
Get rid of scrub daddy. It is the worst tool ever. But yeah, that's a joke. The scrub daddy one's I mean, I don't like scrub daddies, but it's not my real pet peeve. So what's yours?
Okay.
Second one.
So I guess we've got a scrub mommy fan here. So my second pet peeve, this is a day ruiner. You guys know, I do everything in my power to avoid pumping gas at all costs. I got away during the pandemic, probably a year not doing it. Now I'm out there in these streets pumping gas again. It's so hard, okay? When you go to the gas station and it doesn't have the little thing, so you have to hold the pump the whole time, I want to die.
Hey, you don't like GSTV?
No.
Cheddar
With Maria-
News.
With Maria Menounos.
Better together with Maria Menounos.
Telling me about, what was it, your diet and your skin. It's so terrible. Like today the baby was crying and I couldn't go talk to her because I have to stand there with the pump. It's terrible and nothing makes me more angry.
All right.
Okay, Greg, what's your next one?
Okay, my final one here today is when you go to buy clothing and there's name brands all over it. I hate having somebody's name on my shirt and you're just like advertising a company, but you're paying to advertise the company.
Brilliant, though.
It's so stupid. Why would anybody want like a big shirt that says like Nike on it?
What's that H stand for in your sleeve?
Exactly, Jess. I've got a little teeny H on my sleeve, but this is like a nice fitting shirt.
Nice basic, yeah.
And you don't have name brands on your shirt either.
No, just
Hail Santa.
praise Santa.
Look, what are we doing as a society? We're paying for an ad on our clothing. We're paying for the clothing that's an advertisement.
You must have been so popular in 2004.
Was that thing?
Yeah.
I was never popular. So, but thank you.
Aeropostale.
I don't like
Abercrombie.
that. I don't like that.
I know. I was being sarcastic. I bet everyone just hated you and
Yes,
thought you had a
that's
terrible
correct.
wardrobe.
No labels on that guy.
Still do.
I think it's weird when sports teams have clothes that are like property of the Buffalo Sabres. Like somebody got something for Eliza that said that, and I was like, she's not anybody's property. Like, why do they do that?
People just start like going grabbing it and taking it back. Like,
That belongs
that's the
to them.
Sabres.
Yeah.
Okay, Jess, do you have one more?
I do. And this was not on my original list, but Caleb's point about the bookcase really brought it to mind. I hate this when I drive by somebody's house and you see like used furniture in their gardens. Like bed frames are a big one, and there's like
Bed
flowers.
frames?
And I've seen toilets in people's gardens
I have
as
a
flower
chair
pots.
with a flower pot
It's
on
really
it. You
hip,
hate me.
you know?
That's different. That's different. It's probably like by your door, right? On
I
your
think
porch.
what I found out today is that you all hate me.
I don't hate you. It's not a toilet or a bed frame. Who does that? Is it like a flower bed? And I love puns, but that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's a living, growing pun. It's nice.
One
Nope.
pun too far.
Will not stand.
Okay, well, let us know what you think of our hot takes, and we'll see you next week.